welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, thank you for clicking and thank you for watching. My name is Kemi and I'm a Nigerian YouTuber based in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. Don't forget to, of course, like this video if it's something that speaks to you, or if it's something that you've really learned from. Of course, also subscribe, turn on post notifications so that each time there's a new content, you'll be alerted. And if you're a returning subscriber, you guys, I hold you guys dear to my heart. You guys are the best. So in today's video, guess what, guys? I have an announcement. So today is my first day of work. So I'm resuming my first job in Canada today, and I thought to use this opportunity to talk about tips on how to get a job in Canada if you're coming as a permanent resident, of course, or you're coming in as a student, or whatever the case may be. Though of course the case is different if you're coming as a work permit, on work permit, because you already got the job before coming. But for permanent residents, you know, you're newcomers. So what are the tips to follow? It's going to be a short video, right? I'm just going to be outlining some of the things I did and some of the things I've learned over time that are useful for newcomers to also do. So the first thing I'm going to be talking about is what you could do is to sign up for some of the, so there are some organizations or there are some agencies, and their job solely, what they do majorly, is to help newcomers to get a job. Even so, from what I found out, it's not only even newcomers. So if you're already in Canada, also you're having struggles or you're having troubles in getting a job, these organizations are, you know, that's what they do. They get grants from the government of Canada to help people to settle, to help newcomers to settle. I believe I've talked about it in some of my previous videos here. So you can just visit some of these people. I'm going to be listing some of them in the description box here. So those are the people that you can contact, and their services ranges from, you know, helping with your CV, helping with your cover letter, prepping you for interviews, even connecting you with recruiters. Yes, they go far back as that. They also train you in most of the certifications that is required in your field. Yeah, so some of the certifications that you normally pay for example, I signed up with one of them and I was trained freely on CPR and first aid training because I'm a public health person, and most of the jobs I'm going to be doing requires me to have a CPR and first aid training. Yeah, so that those are the services they render. So they set you up, they help you to all the basics that you need, right, for you getting a job in Canada. Those are the things that they will do for you. So another thing you have to do also on your own is that you have to research for the Canadian style of writing CV and cover letters. Yeah, so like I said, these organizations or these people that I talked about already will help you to do that. But if you know you do not want to sign up for them, maybe you don't want to have commitment with them, something like that, you can also begin to research, yeah, on the Canadian style of writing your curriculum vitae. Yeah, it's your CV or your resume and your cover letter. So that's one thing you should do again, because it's actually different. Yeah, the system of what you know about is different from what is applicable here. So the third thing I'm going to be talking about, which you need to do now, is that you need to create some profiles. You need to create some profiles you need to create an Indeed profile. It also helps your job. So there are some job search sites like Indeed, LinkedIn, Glassdoor, you know, a couple of them like that. So you need to create a profile, and then you need to set up notifications and job alerts so that whenever there's a new posting or there's a new opportunity in some of these job search sites, you get alerted. And then also another thing I want to talk about is that one CV or one resume, one cover letter does not fit all. It is not a one size fits all kind of thing. One of the major mistakes I found out that people make, which I also made initially, was that I kept submitting the same cover letter, I kept submitting the same resume for most of the jobs I was applying for. For me, I was like, okay, it should be the same thing. The job is so is the same title or is a similar title, so I just go ahead and submit the same resume. Meanwhile, that's not the case. So you actually need to check the posting, check the job posting, check the role and responsibility of the person, and check the experience. So you need to suit your cover letter and your resume to, if those are the tasks you've carried out before in the past, that is, you have some experiences in those jobs, you need to suit your cover letter and resume to what those jobs are asking or what they are looking for. So don't just assume that, okay, because I studied this and my CV boldly carries masters in this, I'm automatically going to be given a preference in this job. But no, it doesn't look that way. As a matter of fact, one thing I've learned is that it's not really about your education. Yeah, it's not really about, I studied masters, I have a master in public health because I'm a public health person. No, it's not really about that. What they want to know is that have you carried out a similar role in what they are looking for? That is, do you have a past experience in this role? Do you have a past experience in this job? So one thing you should also note when it comes here is that some of our job roles, for example, I'm going to be using myself as an example, public health in Nigeria, because I am a public health person. I was working with a non-profit back home in Nigeria. The thing is that non-for-profit in Nigeria is different from non-for-profit here. In fact, they are entirely different because the issues we are dealing with is different. In Nigeria, we had, at least the hard period I worked on we had maternal health, we had malaria. Meanwhile, that's not the case here. So the public health issues here are a bit different. We have more of, disability, mental health issues, and the likes of it. So it's going to be a bit different. So you need to do your due diligence in searching for the job titles that relate here, and also the job roles, the description of their roles. So you need to suit your CV to that. You can't just assume that because I studied public health, yes, it's going to be the same here. No, actually, because their job roles, what they do is different from what we have back home. So those are one of the things you also need to put into consideration. So another thing I want to talk about getting a job here is that you need to study, or you need to know a lot about your recruiter. For example, you've applied to jobs, you've applied on LinkedIn, and then they called you, or you've applied on Indeed, they called you for an interview, and then you get to the interview and they ask you, okay, so what have you learned about this organization? What do you know? Can you tell me 2 or 3 things you know about this organization? And you're like, which organization is this again? Because you didn't keep track of your applications. Yeah, you just kept on applying, and you just kept on sending the applications. Oh yeah, application, you kept on sending, and then one of them calls you. You don't even know which one of them has called you. So you need to have like an Excel sheet, or maybe have a jotter, and then keep on writing, okay, so this is the CV, or this is the cover letter I've submitted to this job. This is this position I applied for on so date, so that when they contact you, when they get back to you, you quickly go to that Excel sheet, or you quickly go to your jotter to say, okay, this person that is contacting me is from this organization. Let's just assume that the person does not have an official email that gives you a hint, or it gives you a clue that is from this so organization, and then you're just lost, and then they're asking you a question, you don't even know what to say. That at first is one of the things that they're asking about the organization, and you don't know anything. It just tells them that you're not prepared, or you didn't do their research, or it's not in your best interest, it's not in their best interest, or you're not even interested in working for that organization. So one thing you need to do, of course, is to do a lot of research, in fact, extensive research about the organization. Know their mission, know their values, know their core mission, all those things, mission, values, you know what I mean, right? So, and then their goals, and then you have to, during the interview, mention those things in there. When they say, for example, talk about yourself, you just slot in some of those their values into your introduction, or into your introduction of yourself. Let's say the value of the organization is integrity, and they tell you to talk about yourself. Please talk about yourself as being that is, you hold integrity as something of high value, something like that. Restructure your introduction, or you structure what you're going to be saying to mention some of those core values that they have, or some of their missions, some of their goals, what they do, or let's say they even ask you, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? And you say, well, in the next 5 years, I assume that, hello. Yeah, so I understand that sometimes may be a very tricky question, but then you need to be sure that what you are mentioning, I hope you're getting my point. What you're mentioning aligns with their goal, aligns with the goals of that organization, allows with their values, with their mission, some of their core mission, something like that. Yes. So I hope you understand that. So my point here is that do your due diligence. Yes, do your own extensive research. In fact, go to LinkedIn, go and find out about the key stakeholders or the board members of the organization. In fact, if you know the person that is going to be interviewing you, do like a quick interview. I said quick interview, sorry. Do like a quick research on that person. You can do that on LinkedIn. You can just search that person's name on LinkedIn. It's not a crime to search. They won't penalize you for searching, yeah? Or if you don't want them to know that you searched, you can use an incognito tab on your browser and then just log into your LinkedIn and search for that person. So another thing I want to talk about that can be like a sort of hindrance to getting a job, or that kind of deter some people to getting a job is when it comes to money issues. Yeah, when it comes to money issues. So I've heard this from a couple of people that, of course, they throw that question to you. So what is your expectation? What is your salary expectation? What do you expect that you'll be paid? That can be a very tricky question. It might be a time to sell yourself. At the same time, it might be one of the questions that is going to stop you from getting that job. So there are 2 ways or 3 ways or more about it. I don't know, I'm just going to list the ways about it. Now, firstly, before that interview, you could have done a search, right? Do a Indeed. Luckily, Indeed Job Bank also gives you like a price range of that position, so you have an idea of between what range they normally pay for this kind of position, or these organizations pay for this kind of position, so you know what to say. Okay, monthly this, or hourly this, or yearly this. Another thing you can do is to tell them that I believe that this is not a new position. This position has always been in place, so you already have a price range, or you already have a budget for this role or something like that. So let me know of your budget, and then we'll talk about it, something like that, so that you don't just go and call a price that can break the bank that they cannot afford, and then they are not, maybe they are these people that they don't want to just argue or anything, and then they just leave it. Okay, but in their mind they're like, no way, no go area because of that. So that's another research you want to do. It's going to help you a lot. So next thing I want to talk about, that now I've mixed it all up. I've been talking about tips to getting a job, tips for interview, and all of that. Another thing I'm going to be talking about at interviews is, I'm not a professional here. I'm not a job coach or human resources personnel. I'm just talking of my own experience and experience of people around me on getting a job, interviewing for a job, and all of that. One thing I've observed is that they want you to ask questions. So, at the point of interview, at the end of the interview, they ask you, so do you have any question for us? Don't say no. Do not say no. Yes, you must have a question for your interviewer. So that brings me to the point of you haven't done a research. One of the very good questions that I've also heard, I've learned, during my own training, I also learned that you can ask is that you can ask them that, okay, is there any particular Canadian, or is there any workplace culture or any workplace tradition that applies to your organization? What is one of the best things working with this organization that is one of those things that I get to enjoy working with the organization? Just have a question. Don't say no, I don't have a question. If possible, have 1 or 2. You can also ask that, okay, so after this, what's the next stage? Is there gonna be another interview? Just ask a question. Don't sit there like a dumb person that doesn't know anything and is just sitting. They want to know that you at least have some sense, right? That they are interviewing someone that has her own, that is able to think, that is able to ask questions, that is able to be proactive, something like that. Yes. So the next thing I'm going to be talking about, which is likely going to be the final thing, except something else comes up, because I didn't jot anything, I'm just writing this from the top of my head, and because I just thought this is the opportunity to talk about this, being that it's my first day of work. It's a good opportunity to talk about this before I forget. Of course, before I talk about the last thing, don't forget to like this video. If you've been watching and you've not been subscribing, why now? Why have you been watching and not subscribing? You've just been tasting, but you are not being part of the family. Why? What have I done to you? Please subscribe, of course. Subscribe, like this video, drop a comment in the comment section. If there's something else you think I didn't talk about, or if you're already in Canada, you have a job, or you are one of the seniors. I call the seniors those that have been here for up to 1 year or more. Yeah, if you are here and then there's something I didn't talk about, please don't forget to drop in the comment section. I'm sure people will be reading and people will want to know about it. So the last and final thing I want to talk about interviews, getting a job, and all of that, is that you have to be calm throughout the interview process. You have to be calm. Take it like a discussion. Make it like you're having a discussion. If you're beginning to get tense, you can just take a deep breath. If you didn't get the question, or you don't understand one thing that the interviewer has said, being that there might be some little difference in the language or in the speech or in the accent, say, can you take it out again or come again? Also, you have to talk calmly. Don't be so fast. It's all about the communication here. The communication, let there be a connection. Let the interviewer, let there be like a connection. Let them know that you are getting them. When they are speaking, nod your head, show that you are listening. And then also from their own expression or from the feedback you are getting from them, you can get to know, you can get to read their expressions. Yes. So my point of all of this is that at your interview, please ask questions. Yeah, ask questions, be connected, be like, let them know that you're enjoying this. It's not like you're not tensed. If it's a physical one, fine, it gives you the opportunity to be calm, sit up, don't be relaxed and all of that. Just sit up, let them know that you are very interested in this. Of course, another thing, of course, at the end of the interview is that if you don't hear back from them, so one thing I've observed, this is like a bonus tip now. One thing I've observed there is that they don't like to give bad news, and they are kind of laid back. They are not like, they are kind of laid back. I don't know how to explain that, yes. So you notice that, 1 week after the interview, you've not got back from them, and they told you that they will get back to you within 1 week. It's not a crime. Please shoot them a mail. Send a mail if there's a number you can call, but preferably just send a mail that, okay, you were expecting that you'd have heard a feedback from them, but you haven't heard gotten a feedback from them. So one thing I've noticed is that they don't like to share bad news here. They like to, even the thing is that one of the very annoying thing is that while they are even interviewing you, you don't know what they have in their mind. Yeah, you in your mind you say, oh, this interview actually went well, they like me, but the truth is that you don't know what they have in mind, because they don't like to give should I say bad news or evil news and all of that. So follow up with if you don't hear from the interviewer, follow up and then get your feedback from them. So help with these few points of mine, no matter how little it is. You've been able to learn 1 or 2 tips, or there's been something there that's been helpful to you, especially as a newcomer, as a new immigrant, in getting a job or in passing or landing that interview. So thank you guys for watching, thank you for listening. Have a beautiful day, guys, and see you another time. Bye.